Greetings everyone. I am Shrishti Singh from Skills Rediscovery. Today we have with us Mr. Anil Vyastat, who is Professor Civil Engineer and Deputy Director at Manipal University, Jaipur. Welcome, sir. Sir, please tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Srishti, and it's a pleasure to talk to you. And through you, the students will be getting this message. So I'm grateful to all of you. And look, basically, I am a civil engineer, and I did my graduation in '89. And later on, I got my father and mother both were in teaching job, so they always insisted me to go for a teaching career. So they asked me to do master's degree in engineering rather than going for a field job. I'm talking of the 1889 90s when everybody was running for the field jobs. And at that time, nobody was interested to do masters. But my being the only son, the parents always wanted that I should go in a teaching job. So I, though it was not of my interest, but finally now I realized that was one of the best decisions what we have taken. And then I started my master's in environmental engineering from Jodhpur. And but truly speaking, at that time, we were not having this leverage of today everybody looking into the Google and getting so many options, so many things available to students. That was the time nobody was aware, and environment was one of the subject which was just emerged. Somebody would have talked about the environmental pollution in those days. He was called anti-national person, something who is talking against the development on all those things. But my Professor B.C. Punamiya sir, he was a very learned person who has written many books. So initially I took admissions in soil engineering. And one day I was not getting through in the class, and I talked to him. I said, "Sir, I'm not getting much interest in this. What is the best option if I would like to pursue my career?" And that was the turning point. He said that you better look into the environmental. That is a demanding domain, and in the future you will have more opportunity. So that was the thing. Then I did my master's in environment, and luckily in '92 early I got an offer in Government of India lead institution NIT Jaipur. Now previously it was REC Jaipur. So now it is MNIT Jaipur. So I got a teaching profession job there, and I started working there. But that was one of the lead premier institution in India, one of the lead institution in Rajasthan. So all the projects in the various environmental domain, water sector, environmental sector, waste management used to come to us. And I started getting inclination working in those projects. And this is how I got more inclination, more interest in that one. And that has helped me, rather than going into the field job, a teaching plus this job also. And the journey continued. And then in 2002, I got an offer in one of the lead institution at the global level, ICS UNIDO in Trieste, Italy, on a fellowship called Environmental Degradable Plastics. So civil engineering, then environmental, then it was environmental degradable plastics. And then from there, I started getting more jobs. I got a US government contract consultancy job in Ethiopia, Sudan, and then the things started moving. And truly speaking, the jobs, the work which I have done at the MNIT level in Rajasthan state, Rajasthan, as you know, one of the driest state in terms of getting less rainfall. In the western Rajasthan, we get very less rainfall. There's a severe shortage of water also. So that is how I started, when I started working, that has helped me to work in those programs in globally, where in Ethiopia, there was a severe drought, there was no water, and the assignment was more similar to the Indian context, similar in Sudan, similarly in the other countries. And this is how I got inclination. Finally, I got a long-term, full-time job in the UNICEF. UNICEF, as you know, one of the lead global UN agency working for the rights of the children and the women. I worked there for 5 years in Africa, and then I came back to India, and again, then I started working in the UK government projects, and the domain keep on changing. Initially, it was civil engineering, then environmental engineering, then the waste management, then water and sanitation, then the emergency water and sanitation. And when I came into India in 2011-12, I realized here the demand is for the urban water. So it was again a new thing. Then later on, I got this urban sanitation, non-revenue water, non-sewer sanitation. These were the domains which I started working. So this is how the whole journey started, and I worked in those programs.
Sir, I'm pretty sure that the audience would love to know more about you because you had an amazing journey till now. So, sir, can this problem of fecal sludge and improper disposal and like lack of proper sanitation systems in India solved, according to you?
Sister, look, it cannot be solved. You also know, everybody knows. You know, when I talk, I speak from my heart. I mean, I say that since independence, I tell you, we got independence in 1947. And since independence, for the last almost 70 years, since this new governances came into the central government, like Honorable Prime Minister Modi has come, prior to that, truly speaking, the water system and the wastewater were not integrated together. It was like, development was going, nobody was bothered how the population has been increasing, how more and more people coming to the urban areas, and the needs and the requirements of those people were not looked into that one. And we have a huge gap, huge gap. And I tell you, in 2017, one of the lead research agencies, Center for Science and Environment, they say that 80% of India's sewage, wastewater, is not getting treated. Can you imagine? 2017, 80% of the human waste, fecal sludge, which is generated from our homes, is not getting treated. We have a luxury. We at our houses, we have this sewer systems. Our whole waste goes to the sewage treatment plant. But majority of the 80% of the waste is not getting, and this is the fact. And this was not like, so we have not looked into this issue since the independence. So there was no integration. There was no how much water to be required, how to look into that one, and the waste fecal sludge. So again, the thing is that now it has come out with a huge gaps. And as per this present scenario, 2.7 billion people across the globe have to rely on non-sewer sanitation or fecal sludge management. And one of the global consulting agency, Boston Consulting Group, it says that by 2030, another 10 years, 9 years, 5 billion people would be relying on FSM non-sewer sanitation. So the numbers will be increasing. We are talking of the SDG, Millennium Development Goals, then maybe after 2030, something else will become. But I tell you, we are not working. But truly speaking, in the last couple of years, we came out, government of India has done a lot of things. They are working on that one. But again, now this pandemic, this has given a retardation. So that is a big challenge. So we need to look into that one. And I would say that, yes, the situation is not very helpful, but government of India has taken a lot of steps in the last 5-7 years, and that will certainly help. That will reduce, one of the biggest consequences of this waste lying is like, groundwater contamination, the water which we are drinking, water resources are getting all like, polluted. And the infant and the child mortality rates are highest in many states in India. Okay, and this is how that you might have done a lot of progress for your country for in a space development program, but on the other side, this is the reality. And your whole economics, your whole indicators are in a difficult situation. So I would say that it will take time. It will take a lot of time, and FSM is the future in the coming times. You have to work effectively in the fecal sludge management. There's no other way. You cannot make a sewer system in few days. You need a lot of money. I was talking to one of the specialists here, bureaucrat, for the Jaipur city. I'm based in Jaipur city with a population of almost 4 million. He says almost 50,000 crore rupees would be required if the whole city has to be given with this sewer lines. Okay, so this is the amount of money required. From where we'll get this money? Even if we get that money, can you imagine? Can you think of dismantling the whole system, whole urban infrastructure, and getting this whole waste through those sewer lines पूरा सिस्टम को बिगाड़ के सड़कें तोड़ के और आप एक सीवर लाइन डालें. Then the another thing, the global scenario, now the climate change, you are getting less water. How the waste will move? Previously the MOUD, Ministry of Urban Development, says 135 liters per capita per day. As of now we are getting 40 liters, 50 liters, 60 liters maximum. Pani, if there's not enough water, how the waste will flow in those civil lines? So it's a challenging task. But I tell you, Government of India came with the FSSM policy in 2017. States have been asked, many states, even UP has done a remarkable job in this regard, and that will help. That will help how these things can be minimized. That is my opinion. Yes,
So
please.
very well explain the points and how it can be achieved to if we need to go with a good approach. So, sir, what is your opinion on the implementation of various projects to save water on this planet? And what does your institute offer to the students?
Look, Srishti, I'm not a able person to talk about the planet, but when you look into the Indian context, when you look into the scenario of our areas, it's very difficult. Now, look into my city and the similar situation for the Lucknow also, the similar situation for Ahmedabad also. 4 million population there. Previously, I'm based in Jaipur for last 30 years. There was a time, we used to rely water from one of the lake called Ramgarh Lake. We used to get water from that Ramgarh Lake. But today what is happening after 20, 30 years? It is previously it was a playground, and now it has been captured by the land owners, mafias, mafias. They're captured because this is a good place, and there's a good nexus between that the builders and the political, whichever the party comes, whether it is Congress or whether it is BJP or whether it is Samajwadi Party, they all have their all nexus, and nobody bothers over there. Now that surface area, that was a good catchment area for the drinking water, rainwater which used to come, that has finished. Now Jaipur doesn't have any surface water source from where you can get the water. So subsequently they started getting water from the groundwater. So more and more tube wells, borings, and all those things. Okay. Now the groundwater has gone in the last 10 years, almost 25 meters to 30 meters. As we are civil engineer, we used to say that one-story building is around 3 to 4 meters around. Okay. So in last 10 years, our groundwater table has gone almost 10-story building down. That is the level of, and this is not for Jaipur. This is same for Lucknow, same for Ahmedabad, same for other cities. Nobody looked into that. Concrete flooring and all urban population coming. So there's no place for recharging of that groundwater. How to get that water? So you finish your surface water, you started looking into the groundwater. That is also not recharged. Now Jaipur is getting from a source called Bisalpur Dam. Billions of rupees has been spent. We have taken loan from Asian Development Bank. We have taken loan from JICA, Japan Development Corporations, and everybody is putting money to that one. And we are getting water from 130 kilometers from a dam. And that has to rely on the rainwater. Cost of that, somebody has to pay for that one. Okay, so we are not thinking of in that terms. Your all resources have been gone. Now you are getting water from a costly place. So one thing is that what I would suggest, in my opinion, one important aspect is rainwater harvesting. Every household should have a rainwater harvesting system at their rooftop. That is the one thing. In my institution, we have that kind of arrangement. So if we have rainwater harvesting system, it will help like anything. At least it can reduce the load on the municipal supplies or from the where you got. And that rainwater is by default, by nature, it is clear, transparent, free from contaminations. Okay, so that is the one thing. Another thing is you have to recycle the wastewater, which is from our household level, and that wastewater cannot be utilized for the drinking water. We are not so much advanced like countries like Singapore and other places where they use recycled water for the drinking also. Those are costly affair. Okay, but the thing is that you have to use that recycled water for the other purposes, for agriculture, for for our flushing and all those things. So all these are very important aspects, and you have to find out proper places for the recharging structures, maybe artificial recharging structures has to be implemented, the green areas to be developed in the city limits, so that water gets recharged. That is the only way. Baki jageh kahan hai? There's no place. You don't have place. It's so simple. And there's no rocket science in that one. But we have to follow. And the rules has to be implemented very strictly. Otherwise, what will happen? It will just like, you make the rules and the things will go like nobody bothers. And the situation becomes another after 5, 10 years, that situation will become more difficult. This is a practical challenge for everyone. So you understand, this is what we have to look into that one. So these are few possible solutions for the planet. Global warming, climate change, means it's all like all interrelated. And then the amount of rainfall coming, rainfall patterns have been changed. In one city it will be very heavy raining, in one city there will be very less rain. So we have, our dependency on the rain is too much, because and then this ecological imbalance is creating a lot of hurdles in that one. So we have to think in a proper way. We have to find out, like some rainwater harvesting structures, recycling of the wastewater, and also awareness among the people. If we can make aware people that, like using less water and so many things, how to save water, then only the things will be solved. Otherwise, every 5 year new government comes, they take their steps, they go, then this iteration cycle keeps on going, and we are the sufferers. Our generation will suffer. Yeah, thank you.
Sir, there have been instances where people recycle water, but do you think we can implement it on a large scale with our large population?
Look, no project cannot be done at a larger scale. You have to think at a lower scale. Okay. For example, in my institution, we, like Manipal University, Jaipur, we are the premier institution in India right now. With almost, we are celebrating decennial year this year, almost 10 years, and we have 10,000 students and 500 faculty members. Okay. And so our 6 to 7,000 students are living in the hostels. We have best hostels in the country. They are like best one. Now we have our own recycling plant, where wastewater, we have our own sewage treatment plant, 1 MLD of sewage treatment plant. So we treat that wastewater, we use that wastewater for the gardening, for the agriculture purpose in the campus area. Our 122 acres of land, okay, the whole Manipal University Jaipur campus is all irrigated through this wastewater. Similarly, the rainwater, it is a huge area. So whatever the rain comes, every drop of water is collected. We have rainwater collecting structures everywhere. We collect that water, we use for our different purposes. So this is how you can take a step. So every society, every colony has to do that one. You cannot do for the whole city. It's so simple. And patch wise, you have to take steps. Then only it works. Okay. And similarly in the city also, like I was working in the different projects. Once there was a discussion also, like recycle water, like there should be two taps, two distribution networks for the household system. One system coming for the treated water, and one tap bringing the treated this from the sewage treatment plant treated water, one from the municipal supplies, and one from the STPs. So coming from the effluent coming from the STP within the Government of India norms. Now NGT has come more stringent norms on that one. If that water coming from a different tap and used for the flushing and other things, it can reduce the load on the drinking water things. Okay, but that is again a costly affair. Okay, so what I want to suggest is that recycling is possible, but it has to be taken at the small level, colony level, society level, at the township level. Then only it will work. It cannot work for the whole city. It's like, because the development of the urban areas in a very zigzag way. So, and this is how the whole situation is becoming difficult for the urban planners and the urban governances to look into that one. So this is my view. Okay.
Very well explained, sir. So, what are the different skill sets one requires to work effectively in this sector or area?
Look, I work in the environmental sector, and skills, like, if you talk of the skills, uh, one major thing which I realize, I'm like, I'm not talking something very other thing. One major thing is that one has to be updated with the latest trends. One has to be updated. Person should have an ability to adapt the new changes, understand the new changes, and a process of learning should always be there in his mind. When I started working in these programs, initially it was civil engineering, then environmental engineering, then it was waste management. Okay. Then it came as, like, environmental degradable plastics. So when I came back to India, EDPs was not in, nobody was talking of that one because our requirements are totally different. We were talking of the waste management in the urban areas. Okay. So one has to look into that. One has to change the perception of, like, learning with the new things, looking into the new challenges and finding the solutions for that one. So that is one skill, one requirement for everyone. Obviously communication is, like I always say, communication is one important thing. And the more you learn from the, like, field projects, when you go into the field, when you go, like, we call it as an experiential learning also, you learn so many things to that. That has to be, like, always in the mind. Our honorable vice chancellor at Manipal University Jaipur always says there should be always a delta increase in your learning process. Every day you should learn something. Chota se karo, lekin you understand and learn something. This is how you accumulate. So what I want to tell you is, to tell the students, is that your learning should not stop. And with the time you have to keep on changing. You cannot think, like, today somebody wants to do a name, I would like to go in the structure engineering, but where are the vacancies, where are the needs, where are the requirements? Today we are talking of the climate change, global warming. So one has to look into the new trends, one has to look into those things, what are the challenges, and one has to go through that one. So in my opinion, in the environmental sector, one has to be updated. I tell you one simple example. In the newspaper Times of India, on the front page, it comes PM 2.5 and PM 10 beyond permissible limits in Delhi areas. And Delhi is suffering from this air pollutant hazards and all those things. I tell you, majority of our students, they don't understand what is this PM 2.5, PM 10. Look at that correspondent who has not gone through a technical knowledge, but is much aware of PM 2.5, PM 10, and all those things. I'm talking very simple things. But our students, our people has to understand that basic fundamental things of the environment. That this is particulate matter 2.5, this is particulate 10, this is how this is emerging, this is the emission sources. Like, my cook comes from a 10-kilometer place. He says, sir, मेरा शर्ट काला हो गया क्योंकि रास्ते में इतना pollution है. Now the environmental talk is of, everybody is talking of that one. It's not you and me talking of that one. So when every layman, every person is talking of that, the impact of environment degradation and the pollution is so much on common man. We need to update ourselves. As a technical person, we need to learn and understand that what are the consequences of these hazards to the human health. Okay, so that is the most important thing, and one has to go. These are the very basic things, but important things. One has to go and look into that one. So it should not be like, this is not my job. But what I tell my students also, we should all be updated. We are talking of the water supply, we are talking of the wastewater, but we should also be aware that what is happening in the environment, how it is giving impact, what are the greenhouse gases, how they are giving impact on the climate change, how the global warming, how this acid rains and all those things. All these are interrelated. So one has to get updated. And that is how, another thing is that one need to, like, always, like, experiential learning through experiential, whatever the projects come, one has to go and learn there. People should not look into the money part. That is what I understand. Everybody looks, मेरे को कितना पैकेज मिल जाएगा, मेरे को क्या हो जाएगा. अरे भाई, अभी तुमने, you just have done the graduation. You cannot expect 10 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 20 lakhs. Parents also come, हमारे बेटे को पैकेज कितना मिल जाएगा. पैकेज कहाँ से मिलेगा? We are producing almost 1 million engineers every year. Can you imagine how to filtrate that? How to, so, and we don't have that kind of things. So what I want to tell, that we have to make ourselves more competent, we have to get ourselves updated. And this is how you need to. I remember in 2000, internet was a very difficult thing. Today everybody has a internet in the mobile. Okay, that was the time nobody was having internet at home, I tell you. And I have to get an internet connection at my home by showing that I have paid the 5,000 rupees. ये जो आपका server है उसका मैंने I paid for that one. Then they used to give the internet connection, and that has helped me. And then I started applying. I look into the new things in the world which was not available to the common man and to the people of India. I tell you, very few people, 5-10%. So you have to be updated. So I applied. I was a mediocre. I was selected for one of the fellowship in the global level. I went there for 1 year. I learned a lot of things. But I am saying that if you are aware or if you are ahead of this one, if you are just little ahead of that one, it will help you. So in the environment sector also, you need to look, you need to envisage that what is the challenge coming in the coming times. And if you think in that way, critical thinking, like that is an important part. Our national education policy says that critical thing. If you think in that way, beyond that one, that will help, like, students and the people. And then you will be immediately picked up. You will be taken as a separate. Then you can develop your skills. Then you can work on those projects. Then you can work. Like, that is a very basic important thing which one has to look into that one. So you have to be ahead of what is happening in the environment. That is one simple thing. Yeah.
Sir, I was so engrossed with your explanation, with your opinion. So, sir, what is your opinion on skills education in your sector in India?
What is your, say it again?
What is your opinion on skills education in your sector in India?
Skill education. Yeah, I said that skill education is very, like, it's one of the key things. And this is how you build your career. You are, like, many students nowadays come to me, okay, sir, we have done, we have got 10 out of 10 CGPA and this. Used to tell them that, guys, this is the time when the students are enhancing their skills. Okay, they are doing many courses online available. John Hopkins, there was a time, you take the John Hopkins, for example, one of the lead global agency, somebody doing a course from the John Hopkins. And it has developed the student skills in a different way. You are talking only of the Indian context. आपको 10 में से 10 CGPA मिल गया, ठीक है, आप खुश हैं. But the other student who has got 8 CGPA, but he has done 10 other courses because he has utilized this time in developing and learning the new things. Okay, that is how you have, and what is going in the other world. आपको लगता है कि मैंने बहुत अच्छा कर लिया, ठीक है, बहुत अच्छा है, वो आपके लिए एक क्राइटेरिया है, क्योंकि आपको ग्रेजुएशन, you need to get your degree. But if you need to go in environment sector, you have to, like I already said, you have to be ahead of your development, ahead of the challenges which are happening in the global world, and you need to look into that one. What would be the water demand after 2030? What would be the sanitation demand after 2030? What are the present development done in that one? What are the present, for example, I remember, like, in wastewater management, the scenario is totally different. Whatever the previous technologies were working, for example, in Jaipur and the sewage treatment plant, they are now obsolete. Okay. For example, the National Green Tribunal, now, for example, they have said that sewage treatment plants, they should be adhering to the latest stringent norms. For example, one of the indicators is BOD, biochemical oxygen. That should be less than 10 milligram per liter. Previously, Central Pollution Control Board used to say it should be less than 30 milligram per liter. Now it has come out less than 10 milligram. Now all your sewage treatment plants are obsolete. You cannot discharge that wastewater into the river or खेत खलियानों में आप उसको discharge नहीं कर सकते, उसको 10 milligram से नीचे लाना. So you have to change the system. You have to change your whole technology in such a way so that you can bring that whole effluent under that conditions, which can be which is safer for the human beings, safer for that one. So again, I'm saying you have to be ahead. You have to look what are the requirements after 10 years, after the 20 years, 30 years. And if you can make a change in that one, then only it will help you to achieve your goals. You can go further ahead in your career. This is my view.
So the way you explain using the examples, I hope it conveys the exact meaning to the audience because
Let's
that
hope. And I'm always available. Look, I'm very open. And I learn. Look, I tell you, I learn by going, meeting. I spend money from my own and learn things. You don't have to rely all the time on your organization. It's so simple. If you because that is the learning. Even at this juncture, even I'm 50 plus, I used to pay from my own pocket and learn and have the trainings because that is how it helps you. You cannot कि जब इंस्टीट्यूशन पैसा देगा तभी जाएंगे, जब ये होगा तभी हम जाएंगे. No, no, no. And this is what I developed since my first assignment. When I went to the Italy, I came back and then I realized emergency water and sanitation is a demanding domain. So I started going and learning at Radar India in Pune. That is Registered Engineers and Disaster in Pune. That is a big agency. And I went there to have a lot of trainings. I used to pay from my own pocket. So that is what you have to do, that one. And then you learn and then you expand. And then when you go to the field, you have another thing which I would like to tell you. One skill is that is one should also have a habit of writing also. Writing in sense, you went for a project, okay, and that has helped me. You went for a project, you learned so many things. Write a simple technical paper, whatever you, and send it to one conference. Once you went, even you are in the field, in the academics, even you are in research, even as you are a student, or even if you are working for a technical side also. If you are working in an IT company, see what are the new changes, what are the things we have done. Write a technical paper on that. Okay, and send it to the conference. It will go there. You will be required to present that paper. There will be questions. You learn. It is not कि मेरा अच्छा paper नहीं गया या वो नहीं हुआ. That is a different thing. Your learning is important. And when you go there, you'll see that 10 other peoples are coming with a different new ideas. You learn. You have a networking things also. So you network there. You learn from the other people's experiential learning, from their experiences. So this is a formula which has to be adopted by every student, whatever the thing they are doing. आपका एक साल में कुछ भी नया काम किया, write something on that one. And it's very simple. शुरुआत में तो in the beginning it will take time, but you need to keep on updating and writing that one. And that will help you. I got many projects just because of writing technical paper, meeting people there in the conference, and I got an assignment. This happens. Okay. Yes, please.
so sir, how has COVID-19 impacted your industry and how e-learning can help?
Yeah, COVID is, this is one of the most difficult situation which has arise here, and almost 100 years we have faced this problem. And like last, we had the Spanish flu 100 years before, and even I was also affected by the COVID last month, but now I'm better. I would like to say that teaching is a profession which has been immensely affected, but the thanks to the new technology, new innovations, and new things, everything is now e-learning on the because everything is now delivered through e-learning. The challenge with the e-learning is that yes, teaching is good, but you don't have one-to-one connectivity with the students. There are 30 students in the class, only 2 or 5 students are active. Rest you never know that whether they are really active or not. Whereas in the physical presence, you can look into the every student's thing, that what the student is doing there. You can talk to the students. So this has given a big impact, and no doubt because at a long time the students are not there in the institution almost more than a year. They are away from the classroom teaching, they are away from the experiential learning. So it has really given an impact, truly. That is the fact that should not be denied. But the other thing is that it has also given us the opportunity for the students to utilize the time and learn from various e-learning courses which are very useful, which are available all throughout the net, which are available. Many of them are free of course available. And this is the era. Will be the era in the times. You have to go with that one. So e-learning is a must. But once the COVID situation becomes better, it should be a blend of physical and on the field learning and also e-learning. That should be the blend of that one. दोनों mix हो जाएंगे, then it will be help the students for their career much better. And this also gives an opportunity to the students to present themselves. In many courses, you have to present a case study. You learn there, you produce your case study, you speak there. And this is how, like, speaking in front of the audience, speaking in front of the other people is one of the best thing, because that is how you will be going and talking to the people in your future career. So certainly it has given an impact on our industry, of our education industry. But Manipal University Jaipur, as I said, one of the lead, we have already taken all steps, and all our classes are going online. Even today we were having the classes, all examinations going on e-line, e-learn on the system, and it has been very effective. So yes, you have to, and that is the advancement of the technology, and that is helping. If somebody would not have thought of that one, we would have been in a disaster. So that is what I say, that we have to think beyond our this present scenario. Yes, please.
Very well said, sir. Sir, according to you, how can we manage wastewater treatment in India with the help of current and upcoming technology advancements?
Look, Srishti, like I already said, present wastewater management is very difficult because, like I said, 80% of India's sewage is not getting treated. Okay, and it's one of the difficult thing. Even those, like, there are almost 1,200 sewage treatment plant in India right now. Okay, and out of that, only 600, 50% of that are in the working condition. So 1200 में से 600 तो आपके काम ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, और जो काम कर रहे हैं, they are not up to the mark, because now the government of India stringent norms, NGT norms, that has given a big challenge. Like I already said, for example, BOD concentration, it should be less than 10 milligram, which is not coming out in the previous. For example, in Jaipur we have one big plant, like Delaware sewage treatment plant of 125 MLD. Okay, it was initial stage, it was doing fine. They got a loan grant from the Asian Development Bank, they got a grant from JICA, and they from JNN, URM, Government of India funding. They developed a 125 MLD sewage plant with the conventional ASP, activated sludge process. Now, as of now, it is catering 200 MLD. 125 MLD का जो treatment plant गया है, वो आज 200 MLD का waste water आ रहा है वहाँ पे. So nobody is taking care. So, and then it's also having the toxic waste, for example. They are not, because it is very close to the Sanganer industrial zone, textile industries, which are discharging huge effluent of toxic waste, which is not treated, controlled there at the industrial level. So common effluent treatment plant is there, but it is like, it is not working. So these are the challenges, not for Jaipur. This is common for every city. So, and the technology, now they have announcing this whole STP by another technology, SBR technology, sequential batch reactor of 210 MLD. Okay, and they are spending almost 280 crores. So that is what I'm saying. One has to look what are the requirements after 10 years. What are the requirements after 20 years? अभी 10 साल पहले तो हमने बनाया है, 2012-13 में तो ये बन के तैयार हुआ है, और आज हमारे को नई की जरूरत पड़ गई. So what I want to tell you is that as of now, our sewage treatment plants are not up to the mark, and 80% of that waste is still untreated. So FSM, non-sewer sanitation, the sanitation value chain has to go very effectively. There's no other way to treat that wastewater. Okay, and whatever the existing sewage treatment plants are there, they have to adhere with the new technology things. So it needs money. Our priority is not the money, not on these things. Our priority is on the different things. The governance's priorities are different things. Okay, I work in the West Bengal. Okay, in the West Bengal, the total wastewater treatment is only 10%. 90% of the wastewater is not treated. ठीक है, और जो treat हो रहा है उसकी भी condition खराब है. Only the big areas, new town in Kolkata and some, they are having good treatment process. Otherwise, all the treatment area, all the treatments are not working fine. So 90% wastewater is not treated, but people are happy. Okay, nobody is thinking of the change. Nobody is thinking of that how these things can be improved. But this is how. So what I want to tell you is that the situation as of now in India regarding the wastewater management is not good. Government of India doing a lot of things. co-treatment is one of the option which has been coming out, where fecal sludge from the various on-site sanitation system is mixed with the sewage treatment plants. Okay, but then again it is a challenge. You have to look into that working of the STPs. Not many technical things. We have to look into that part also. So I would say that the future lies in the non-sewer sanitation fecal sludge management, and that has to be effectively implemented. Saying is very easy, but that has to be very effectively implemented, because the five component of the sanitation value chain in the non-sewer sanitation have to be very effectively dealt into that one: collection, treatment, transportation, reuse. All those processes, we need innovations. And unfortunately, the fecal sludge management, non-sewer sanitation is still 100 years behind the wastewater management. And we have to have more and more advances in this one. If somebody works in this domain, in these five components of the collection, for example, toilet change, if somebody works in that toilet modification, there are huge scopes. There are immense of opportunities in the toilet models. If somebody works, if somebody can treat that human waste there itself in the toilet, you got the things. If somebody can look into that, how the septic tanks can be effectively treat that one. Okay, our septic tanks were designed in 1876 something. Some French scientists had designed that one with दो chamber, तीन chamber के septic tanks. We are not working on the advancement. So nothing has been done in that one. So that is a challenge. Then the collection. Who will collect that wastewater? The honeysuckers, the trucks, they go and pick up that one. People are not reluctant. It's not a profitable business. So that has to be looked into that one. So we have options, but people are not willing to come. So you have to make it more attractive. Municipal corporations, urban local bodies have to make the things in a simpler way, make the things more profitable. The politicians should come out. Look how the government of India, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi started Swachh Bharat Mission. In 2014, they came out with this SBM. By 2019, whole of India will be open defecation free. We achieved that one. How to deal with that waste is another thing that has to be tailored at the local level. That awareness should be there. So government is doing, but government has its own limitation. Now the priorities are 80 crores people are getting food from the government of India. The money which has been coming out is poured into that food for the people. So priorities has been changing. So there the role comes from the municipal corporations, state governments, local bodies to look into that one and save the people from the hazardous impact of the contamination of water systems, which is because of the human excreta. So I should say that still we are lagging in that one. Process is going on, but it will take many decades to come out that one. Until unless somebody comes out with Prime Minister Modi style, somebody comes out, then only the things will be changing. But finally, it has to be implemented very effectively at the ground level. That is the thing. Yes, please.
So, how do you see the new education policy for India?
This is again, first education policy came in, I think, 1968, I remember. Then the next came in 1986. Okay, and 86 onwards, no policy came out. जो चल रहा था डरा वही चल रहा था, because they were not having, truly speaking, that is the challenge we are facing. Nobody bothered about that one. Nobody thought that how this things should be changed. The same system was following. People were not getting jobs. Is it a new thing that engineers who are passing out are jobless? It has been from when I passed out, the same thing was there. So our new education policy, they try to capture many things, and giving less pressure on the small children, the kindergarten children, reducing their syllabus, weightage on that one. They started, then middle school level, then the secondary level at the college level. Every part has been catered in this new education policy. I would say that this is one of the big reform what the government of India, Prime Minister Modi has done for this one. And this should have been done long back, which was not done. And we are paying the cost for that one. Because of that, our students are not getting jobs. Now they are focusing on for example, I am continuously emphasizing experiential learning. Okay, in our new education policy, they are giving a focus on experiential learning and critical thinking, which was not taken care. Nobody thought of that one. Until unless you go and learn in the field, you cannot implement the things. I remember one of the Infosys director was saying that only 5 to 10% students, engineers coming are having technical knowledge of the things in this field. They were not having that kind of knowledge also. So we don't deliver those kind of education in our system. So that is how they are focusing on experiential learning. Another thing is that at the university level, they also want that foreign universities come here. They have their establishment here. Good institution, QS ranking institution come here. They initiated that one. It will take time. Okay, and when they come, there is a blend of learning from their side, their system, how they would like to take the education in this country, and our students, which are all capable of learning everything. When our students go to the US, when our students go to the Europe, they flourish like anything. They got all the facilities. They got all the all hindrances are clear there. So if there, what I understand that there has been a process to remove those hindrances in this new education policy, where we can give all the students the facility of uh, learning in the field, giving less weightage on that one. Also, for example, one thing, it says that at the school, at the kindergarten level, the children should be learning from their mother tongue, in their mother tongue, for example. Yeah, that is one of the best things. Yeah, they are not forcing that presently all the English medium schools should apply, but this is how, that is the age where the children get acquainted with, they understand. अगर आप उसको पहले से इंग्लिश में इतना रटा दोगे, समझा मतलब कर दोगे, it will not develop the thinking power. That is a practical challenge, and that is why where we were lacking. So they have looked into that one. It is just 1 year, I think 20 March 20 it came out. It's just 1 year, and then this thing has come out, COVID. But I feel that this is one of the big reform which was needed long back, has been done, and this will help in the economic growth, in the industrial development, looking into the industry needs. It will cater those needs also. It will also put our students to have more understanding and more capacities to face the challenges of the world. This is my understanding, and I really wish that these kind of reforms should have done long back. They should have come long back, because this is creating a lot of unemployment, and now this COVID situation has also given a big impact, and we are not our students are suffering now. Even the 12th class students are not getting examination, so that is also a big challenge also. So what I want to tell, that this is one of the best thing which has been done, and which should have been done long back. Can you imagine 34 years it took to reform a new policy, new education policy? वही चल रहा था हमारा डर रहा. Nobody thought of that one, क्योंकि सबकी गाड़ी चल रही थी, है ना? तो we were, and the people, our generations are suffering. So that is what, this is a good step, and I really wish that in the coming times, when the COVID situation gets better, our people will get benefit of new education policy also. Yeah.
So we had a great experience by hosting you here with us, and we are really grateful for your time, and the experience that you shared with us.
Thank you very much. It is a great opportunity, and you are always welcome. Any student, anyone, you have my mail address. Anyone who would like to contact, we are always available. And in the environmental sector, Manipal University Jaipur has already launched Master of Environmental Engineering, Master of Non-Sewer Sanitations, that is also approved by the Government of India, AICT also. So I would say that anytime, in any domain, whatever the things, they are always welcome. And thank you again for the Skill Rediscovery for this opportunity. Thank you very much.